welcome, and today I want to talk about spiders. Odd conversation topic, but they fascinate me. I don't like them. Let's not get wires crossed here. Obviously I can talk about them. That doesn't gross me out, and I can see images of them. That kind of grosses me out. It's when they're in my space. So I would never have one as a pet. I don't want them near me at all. But I think they're very unique in the sense that each spider kind of has its own thing, or each family of spiders kind of have their own thing. I guess that goes for a lot of animals, but spiders are really cool, and I think it's because that I'm not a fan of them, or that I'm afraid of them, I guess, that they fascinate me to this extent. So I figured I'd talk about some spiders I think are really cool. I could talk about spider. I found some, actually, making sure that I had all my facts correct. I actually found some interesting spiders, and then I mean, just spiders everyone knows, which I feel like the two spiders that I always think of, if you're talking about venomous spiders, it's Black Widow. I think that that's just ingrained into the public mind, not only because of the name being a Marvel thing, but because it's a very well-known venomous spider. Although I don't think, at least not in my area, I think I've only seen one in my entire lifetime. And then the other spider is tarantula, and that's because they're big spiders. But from what I've heard of, according to an expert I talked to, they're not aggressive. They're more afraid of you than you are of them, kind of thing. They obviously can bite. They have that defense mechanism, but they're more apt to run than to attack when they see a human. So, interesting. One of the cooler spiders that I know of are diving bell spiders, and I could literally talk about these things for a couple hours because they're so interesting to me, but I will refrain from going over all the information. Basically, a diving bell spider, they create this, I'm trying to remember the information and not go look stuff up. They create this pocket of air with webbing, I believe, under the water, and they house themselves within it. And then I think it's the male spiders that will actually go out and hunt, and the females will stay within the nest. The females' nests are also bigger because they have to have an egg room. But basically they'll take their prey that's in the water and they will bring it up into the diving bell, which is a diving bell spiders, wow, are named after the diving bell because of how they do their nests. Because a diving bell is a I believe completely metal. I could be thinking of the wrong thing here. A completely metal contraption that allows for divers to breathe and be, in that pocket of air when they go underwater. I think. I could be wrong. And I think it has a no bottom to it. I kind of need to look up a diving bell. Anyway, diving bell spiders. So they'll take their prey. I believe they bite them, which semi-paralyzes them. I could be wrong on that front. I was more interested in the nesting than the actual prey catching. But they bring them up, and because they hunt aquatic things, it's like suffocating them, and then they, eat them. That's a really cool spider. Like, when I learned about this spider, I had thought that spiders were not, they didn't go near water, or they didn't like water, or whatever. So learning about this spider, I was like very intrigued, and then I learned about the fishing spider, which I will never be mentioning these by scientific name, but the fishing spider has aquaphobic hairs on its legs, which allows it to run across the water. How cool is that? I mean, terrifying, because you thought you were safe in the water. No. This guy can run on water, and they're quick. They're so fast. But yeah, I love those two spiders. Diving bell is definitely the top of that list, because I love the idea of it so much. But the fishing spider is also pretty cool. Then there is the, goodness gracious, it's like the biggest spider in the world. I'm trying to remember it off of memory. I cannot. That's why. Okay. Goliath bird eater. Now, there are two, like, when I was looking for, like, specific spiders to research, there were two biggest spiders in the world. The Goliath bird eater, I believe, is the biggest spider via mass, because it's huge. It's, I think, bigger than, I'm trying to find like a book or something. I think I have a notebook here. I think it's bigger than, or like about the size of, the note, like this, like a notebook kind of thing. This isn't a huge notebook, but like, it's a big spider, and it's not the legs that give it that girth. It's its body. It's huge. It's like a fat spider. Let me see if I can pull a photo of it, actually. The spider is really cool. So, I mean, big spiders. The other largest spider in the world is I'm gonna just double check I have the name. I think it's the huntsman. Yes, giant huntsman spider. And this one is measured by legs and not so much the girth. It can reach up to apparently a foot long, or 30 centimeters. It's a big spider, and I mean, it's terrifying. This one I'm not too much of a fan of, but I really like the like, even I feel like for some animals you could be like, okay, this is the largest animal of this size, like a lion or a shark or gorillas. You could be like, hey, this is the biggest version of this. Here you go. For spiders, there's two. Whether you weigh it in mass, which would be the Goliath bird eater, or the leg size, which is the giant huntsman spider. I think that is immensely cool. Here are images of that. Also, before I forget, I do want to I do want to show my favorite spider. So, here are images of the diving bell spider and the fisher spider. I think that's the name of it. I said it properly the last time I mentioned it. And, so a long time ago, I went to a kind of like this reptile expo. I'm a big fan of reptiles. I love snakes. I love lizards. You know, all the good stuff. But they were explaining to us the misconception when people say that snakes are poisonous. Goes for spiders as well. They're not poisonous. I won't say there probably might, be spiders that are poisonous. But talking specifically about a bite, it's not poisonous, it's venomous. So the difference between venom and poison is venom is an injection. It is injected into the body of whatever creature. Poison is ingested. So venom's injection, poison is ingested. Or, touched or whatever. It's not like it's not injected into the body. It's put onto or into the body. So spiders are not poisonous. I mean, I'm sure there are spiders that are poisonous and you should not eat them, but spider bites are not poisonous, they're venomous. So that was a cool tidbit I learned a long time ago, and that of course goes for snakes. There are of course animals that are poisonous. Don't touch or eat random animals. I feel like that's a big thing that everyone's learned in like second grade. There's another spider. I think I've gone through that was 4. Yes. So number 5 is and this guy's just kind of a cool spider. I think I've seen a couple in real life. I don't think they're that rare. But he's just got a cool look to him. So it is the spiny-backed orb weaver. And I believe the family of spiders that are orb weavers are the ones that create the basic, everyone's seen the spider web, like round spider web. And of course there are spiders that don't do that, like, the spiders that we've already discussed. So here is a picture of a spiny-backed orb weaver. He's kind of cool. I like it because of the way it looks. I found one, I don't know if they're all colorful, but this specific one that I was looking at is a very beautiful red. And I am unsure if the spines on it, because it's a small spider, I'm talking small, much like the Fisher spider. I don't know if the spines on its back are for defense or not, but it is a very interesting spider nonetheless. Okay, so I, after I found the photos, or the extra photo, I made sure, because I wanted to know about the spikes, they do actually serve a purpose. So because they are contrasting in color to the body of the spider, they are used as like a warning signal, a don't touch me kind of thing. They are a natural armor as well. So it's kind of like a defense mechanism for the spider, which is pretty cool. I just kind of wanted to showcase, different spiders. So I'm not gonna like go in depth about them because, like I said before, each of these spiders is exceedingly unique in both, the way it lives, to like the scientific names and the prey they catch. Like, take for instance the diving bell spider will not catch the same prey or hunt the same as the giant huntsman spider or the Goliath bird eater. So I'm not trying to go too in depth with like the details. I want to give like a brief overview. So I like genuinely do encourage, these were just like my top 5. I thought they were pretty cool spiders. If you want to learn like in-depth information, just find a good reputable source and dive into the rabbit hole of spiders, because these things are really cool. But moving forward, the Black Widow spider. I am not familiar with too much information about the spider. I know that they have a very distinct look. They will have that hourglass on their abdomen. They are black spiders. They are small spiders, and I believe they make those same basic webs. I think they just hunt insects, but the venom is what makes them interesting, so here are some images of that. The venom from a Black Widow spider is, I think, 15 times more potent than a rattlesnake's venom, but, and of course it has a neurotoxin in it that affects the nervous system, but does not usually cause death in humans, apparently, because small spider, small venom release, not enough to usually kill a person, so as long as you get, proper medical attention, it's whatever. So, I'm not entirely sure. I thought the venom strength was what made the spider so unique, but I'm not entirely sure what makes this spider so popular within society that, when you think of venomous spider, you think of, usually Black Widow. Interesting spider nonetheless. And then the other spider that I mentioned that I believe everyone thinks about when you mention the word spider, or big spider, is tarantula. Big spider, apparently not so aggressive as I at least once thought, but still kind of scary nonetheless. So besides their size and the fact that they're like the spider of spiders, like they're very spider, they're like, they're like the normal spider. Like, they don't have much that's, like, unique about them besides the fact that they're, a relatively large spider. They're not, like, huge, but they're, not small either. I don't believe there's too much that's, severely, like, unique about it. I'm sure that they are unique in their own way if, you were to dive into the information regarding the spider. There are 200 species of tarantula, so that's, that's interesting. Yeah, I mean, every spider is very unique. Every spider I've ever looked at or, wanted to get information about or anything is always a unique and interesting dive into that entire arthropods. There you go. It's a unique dive into, I think they're arthropods. I could be saying that wrong. I could also be thinking of the wrong word. Whatever. They're always interesting to learn about, and I don't know why I am interested in spiders. I don't know why I like sharks. I don't know why things that I am afraid of interest me, but in this case, I am very glad that I am always wanting to learn more about spiders because, I mean, they're incredible and they're so unique and it's amazing. And I will leave with a fun fact. There are around at least at any given point in time 17 quadrillion spiders in the world. So, sleep with both eyes open, I guess, if you're afraid of spiders, and walk out of your house cautiously. I mean, That's a lot of spiders. I did not know that. But yeah. Anyway, wow, that's goodness gracious. Thank you for sitting down. Thank you for watching, and thank you for hopefully having as much fun as I did, and hopefully you learned something. And hopefully I will see you in the next one. So, bye.